Hi everybody, I'm Ryan, and today I wanted to do a matchup guide for the Dimir Midrange and Gruul Aggro matchup because it's probably one of the most important matchups to understand in Standard. So I'm just going to skip a longer intro and jump right into it. First off, let's talk about both of their game plans. The Gruul Aggro's game plan is to quickly overwhelm your opponent with aggressive creatures, and a little bit direct damage spells, but less so. Again, if you want a deeper analysis on any of these decks, I've done deck techs and deep dives and stuff like that. Please check out the channel. They use early threats like Heartfire Hero, Hired Claw, Paw Patcher Crew, Emberheart Challenger, Manifold Mouse to establish a very strong board presence and very early pressure to put their opponent on the back foot constantly. Dimir Midrange, on the other hand, their primary game plan is to use evasive creatures to draw a bunch of cards with Enduring Curiosity and to ninjutsu Kaido in. So evasive creatures like Fairy Mastermind, Spygrass Siren, Flood Pit Strauner to tap things down, sometimes Fabulum Trick, and to just have so many cards that they're able to tempo and midrange out their opponents. However, in this matchup, Dimir has to take a slightly different role. Gruul sticks to their primary game plan. They're trying to win as fast as they can. Dimir is notably on the back foot in this matchup. So while they still have to look to draw cards and get that card advantage with Enduring Curiosity, they also have to use their removal spells like Cut Down, Shieldred's Edict, Anoint with Affliction, Go for the Throat, to be able to deal with their opponent's creatures. And then once those creatures are dealt with, then shift to that primary game plan of Dimir, rather than just immediately going for that primary game plan. As far as key matchup strategies for Gruul Aggro, it's very important to establish that board presence and to put their Dimir opponent on the back foot. Most Dimir decks, their only board wipe they're playing is Gix's Command, and so it's not super dangerous just to flood the board. And Gruul is looking to apply that pressure as fast as they can before the Dimir deck can stabilize. They should be using their burn spells like Burst Lightning and trample spells like Monstrous Rage to deal with those blockers, and Snakeskin Veil to be able to protect their creatures. Also, you should be having a major focus on maximizing your damage output and planning out your next turn or two to deal the most damage over time, especially with cards like Manifold Mouse and Heartfire Hero. Now, what Dimir should be doing in this matchup is trying to control the early game and using their removal spells to disrupt the Gruul Aggro's aggressive plays, while being really conscious that Gruul Aggro can pump up their creatures, and so Cut Down, while being the best removal spell, can sometimes just be destroyed and negated. Once that early aggression has been disrupted, then start establishing your board presence and begin turning that corner by out-carding your opponent because you're the one with the card draw. Because generally, the Dimir Midrange deck can outlast the Gruul Aggro deck's resource generation. Perhaps one of the most important parts in these matchups is understanding the sideboarding. When Gruul Aggro sideboards, they're going to be focusing on bringing in things that can deal with the blockers and just seeking resilience against removal. This is a clip from my sideboard guide from Gruul Aggro. So the most popular deck is Dimir Midrange. We're going to be sided in Lithomanic Barrage and Torch the Tower just to be able to deal with their creatures, and then we're going to power through the rest of the deck. However, they are looking to grind with us and go long, and they post-board, they are pretty good at dealing with our aggro, so siding in the Questing Druid's pretty solid. That being said, I'm not a big fan of Monstrous Rage. They don't have a lot of blockers to trample over anyway, that they do have a lot of removal. And I like shaving on Innkeeper's Talent and Screaming Nemesis just because they can easily deal with Screaming Nemesis with their removal like way too easy, and we want damage to be dealt, and Innkeeper's Talent requires us to have creatures, so it's kind of tough, especially when we're bringing in so many non-creature spells. So I sideboard against Dimir Midrange. When Dimir Midrange sideboards, they're going to be looking to bring in even more removal spells to deal with their threats. And this is a clip from my Dimir Midrange sideboard guide for Gruul Aggro. The third most popular deck is the Gruul Prowess, Gruul Aggro deck, whatever you want to call it. Obviously, we're bringing in the Cut Downs, we're bringing in the Shieldreds, we're bringing in Preacher the Schisms, just because it's an awesome blocker. We're bringing in Gift Command. Tishana's Timebinder, not good. Flavum Trick is just not good. I also think we need to cut Kaidos against this deck because we're not going to be like attacking and want to like remove a blocker for us very often. Then Counter Magic is historically pretty bad against aggressive decks, so that's how I sideboard against Gruul Prowess. And that is a quick analysis of the Gruul Aggro Dimir Midrange matchup. If you want to learn more about either of these decks, I've done deck tech, sideboard guides, flex slot analyses, and nuances and play patterns and all of that stuff. You should check those out in the channel. And if you want to see me on other social medias, links are above me and in the description. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.